This Saturday morning action cartoon review comes from Anime Dude 64. Thank you for the request. So, this is actually a Nickelodeon show that came out during the early 2000s. And one I don't think is a Saturday morning action cartoon, but you requested it, and I'll review it. My Life as a Teenage Robot is an American television series that was released in 2003 and created by Rob Renzetti for Nickelodeon. This is actually a show I remembered watching at a time when Nickelodeon was still pretty good and still had a creativity to make some good shows. Then this show came along, and I must say, it's a pretty underrated Nickelodeon show even though it still remains partially popular to this day, even with my girlfriend. There's a lot to love about this show, and you can have a lot of fun watching this. The series focuses on adventures of a robot named XJ9, aka Jenny, designed and programmed as a 16-year-old by her creator mother, Dr. Nora, and intended for the sole purpose of protecting the Earth from various threats. Though the show focuses more on XJ9 attempting to live life like a regular teenage girl. Jenny's job is to rescue the town from the potential trouble, but also she enjoys acting like a regular teenage girl attending high school to make friends, and learns from her friends to be a teenager. One of them being Brad, who is Jenny's best friend, is also pretty likable. He's not really your typical quirky guy, he's just got a few dimensions to him. Sheldon, Jenny's stalker. He isn't just a typical nerd, he has more personality behind him. And of course, we have Tuck, who holds up as my favorite character of this show. He's so goofy and clever at the same time, and that voice just steals the deal. I even like Britt and Tiff, the stereotypical popular girls. I've complained about the general evil high school girls before, but I find these two to hold my interest a lot. I probably wouldn't consider these characters to be the best of Nickelodeon's best, but I can't really think of a character I don't like. The villains were great too. Despite enjoying Kilgore and the Space Bikers, Vexus stands as my favorite teenage villain, and one of the best villains in Nicktoon. She's intimidating, cunning, and occasionally funny. There's just a certain fear surrounding her that the other cartoon villains don't have. One of the reasons I like this show so much is the familiarity with the previous tunes that I like. Creator Robert Renzetti worked on the Powerpuff Girls and Samurai Jack, which are two of my favorite Cartoon Network programs. You can tell that the style this show was going for is similar. One problem I have with the show is the humor. There's nothing wrong with it, but sometimes a teenage robot can get a little wrapped up with the plot and forget how to make it funny as well. But hey, I'd rather a show have an engaging plot and a medium of comedy than a show with a load of humor but barely a plot. If the laughs are few in an episode, you can still look forward to plenty of action with Jenny and the villain of the week. The show was unfortunately cancelled in 2005 due to low ratings, but in 2008, Nicktoons featured the unaired completed seasons of Season 3. Overall, this is a pretty great show. It had charismatic characters, enticing storylines, and some awesome action sequences. Don't be fooled by the title. This show is certainly not just aimed towards girls, just like the Powerpuff Girls and Witch. My Life as a Teenage Robot gets a 7.4 out of 10. This is Red Wolf signing out, and I'll see you next time. Peace.